Well, last class we were reflecting on some reading aspects, some aspects of how we feel motivated every day, motivated to read, of course, and how we, about our reading habits. We were talking about it. But I decided to include more specific questions that could help us to reflect more on why it is important to read for specifically for the or especially for the certification, but also in general. So I decided to include some questions that could help everyone here in this room to reflect on their reading habits and their reading purposes and objectives. So let's read the questions. I need a volunteer. Ere. Thank you, Ere, for being volunteer.
Yes. Reflect about okay. How do you currently organize your reading time during a typical day or week?
Okay, next one.
Do you set goals for the amount of time you spend reading each day or week?
Set goals. Goals.
Set goals. Yes.
Goals in relation to the time. And goals in relation to the amount of reading. It can be maybe a chapter a day or an hour a day. You can measure it on time or using amounts of reading or text. Okay, thank you, Ere. Rebe, can you read the next two questions?
Yes, teacher. How do you minimize distractions when reading?
Do you have your mobile phone with you and or you put it anywhere else, or you just turn it off, or what do you do in order to avoid distractions? This is really important for the exam. Okay, next one, Rebe.
Do you find it helpful to take short breaks during longer reading sessions?
Yes. Do you how do you organize your time? What sections do you take, like 40 minutes, 20 minutes, or 50 minutes for reading and 10 minutes for a break? How do you do it? The next one, Teresita, can you read the next? Thank you, Rebe.
Yes. What strategies do you use to maintain focus and attention when reading challenging texts?
To maintain your concentration on the text. This is nowadays one of the most difficult things when reading. If you think, and I include myself, nowadays we are very addicted to screens. So if it is a book, a normal book, we tend to be distracted sometimes. So how do you do to maintain focus? What techniques do you use, if you use any? And what I do is, like, I try to write like phrases that I find. It keeps me focused because I remember these phrases. I put the phrases on paper and then I come back. I try to, or at least I underline phrases. Well, next one, Teresita.
Yes. How do you approach unfamiliar vocabulary when reading?
When you encounter a word that you don't know, do you keep on reading, continue reading, or do you stop, go to the dictionary? What do you do? Then next one, I don't know, Teresita again. Thank you.
Yes. Do you actively try to expand your English vocabulary during your reading sessions?
Sessions. Expand your vocabulary. But do you do it actively? Actively means, for me, doing something actively is that you pay attention to that and you are enthusiastic with your vocabulary. This is something really important for the exam. If you are not enthusiastic about learning vocabulary, I don't think you can pass the exam. Why? Because vocabulary is very important in C1. Well, in all the certifications, but I would say if you want to improve your English, you need to improve your vocabulary. Okay, and the last question, Lou, please.
What methods do you use to remember and review new words encountered while reading?
Do you have a vocabulary notebook? Do you use it in writing? I don't do it too often now, but some years ago, I used to study vocabulary and write something with this vocabulary. I love poetry, so I try to use it, and even in English, more nowadays more in English than in Spanish. So, what techniques do you use? Well, who wants to? Before we go to the breakout rooms, and we says me teacher, I want to answer one of the questions. Yes, Teresa. What about
Yes.
you?
For example, to focus in the lecture that I am reading, I am trying to stop all the devices around me. For example, the TV, the cell phone, and those kind of things. And also, I really like to read, listening some quiet music and relaxed music. And also, I really like to underline some interesting words while I am reading to improve my vocabulary. And yeah, I think that's all.
Okay, excellent. Tan, tan, tan. Thank you, Teresita. What about you, Lou?
Well, in my case, I highlight some phrases, maybe not even words, some thoughts that I have in the meantime while I'm reading, and I don't have a specific time or period of time for reading. Just when I have the chance to do it, I do it. Sometimes it's a shorter time. Many others are a longer time, but I don't organize that way that I'm going to read 30 minutes or only one chapter or whatever. Just what I feel like, or I don't leave a chapter.
But
I haven't
Lou,
finished.
not everyone has your how do you say this? Your freedom, let's say.
Yes, I know, but
I wish I could do that.
I don't judge that. The point is that that's the way that I enjoy my reading. So I consider when I was working, of course, I didn't have the same time to read, but yes, I think it's the in nowadays that's my method to for reading, and I write down some words that I consider I haven't seen before, or maybe I try to relate with other like synonyms or something like that.
Okay, I think that is a good thing. Try to find synonyms. And this is a very good tip for the class. If you want to improve your how do you say this? If you want to improve your vocabulary, you need to know about thesaurus dictionaries. When I first heard about this word thesaurus Rex, something like that, I thought they were referring to a horrible monster, thesaurus. But it is not that. It is a dictionary that gives you synonyms, you know? Very cool. And it gives you like formal synonyms, specialized synonyms, and some other equivalent words. So I think if you have the chance to go online and check these thesaurus dictionaries, they are good for your writing, especially for your writing. Yeah, because it will help you to make it more, how do you say this? to make it richer in vocabulary. Okay, thank you, Lou. Well, so thank you. Who says me? Diana, thank you. What about your reading habits, Diana?
My reading habits. Oh, well, I don't have a specific habits for reading, but I try to read every day. And sometimes it's for necessity. In other times
Because you
it's
need it.
only for hobby. But I don't have a specific time that I don't know if I have my schedule. I don't spend a specific time to read. Sorry, teacher.
But what do you
When I
think?
read,
Yes. What do you think you can do in order to improve your reading, Diana? What
well,
can improve?
first, I think I need to spend a specific time. Example, 1 hour or and a half an hour of the day. Next, I think write some words or new words. What more? Well,
What else?
I think what else? I don't know. Maybe notes with ideas. Could be.
Like I think this is a good one, Diana. You can write important ideas from text, from different paragraphs, let's say. Like a short summary per paragraph to maintain focus. A good one.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I have just sent the link to the presentation. So you can open the questions in the presentation. I am going to open the breakout rooms. You will be with another person. Hello, Alex. Are you there?
Yes, teacher. Hello.
Excellent, Alex. Hello. Well, I am going to open the rooms so that you can practice with a partner. Okay. Then you will tell me like the best news about it, the most interesting ideas. So go there, please.
The middle of the week. But I really enjoy it, and it let me remember all the songs that I really like from her.
Oh, that's nice. It sounds really nice. I like it. I really like her, but I don't think I will go to any concert of her. But I think it is a really nice singer. Yes, she is a really nice singer. Well, go ahead. Well, let's talk about reading. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. The first question, for example, who do you currently organize to reading time? You were saying that you don't organize it, right?
No, it wasn't me, but
Sorry, but well, go ahead. Tell me. What about you?
well, when I read by pleasure, I always do it at night, 1 hour before getting sleep, go to sleep. But because I think that it helps me to be apart from the screens before going sleep, and I do that way because I think that it also helps me to relax. But when I read, I don't know, maybe an article or something that it's about the school, I try to read in a quiet place, and I also try to read an hour because I think that if I read more than an hour, I started to get distracted by other things, or I started like thinking in all other things that I have to do. So I think that an hour is the longest time that I read, and I try to do it every day, but I have to say that I don't do it. I'm working on that. But yes, that's my reading time.
Okay,
What
that's
about you?
nice. First, a question. What do you do?
Now I am writing my thesis for my degree.
Which degree?
I studied chemical engineering.
Okay. You are engineer, right? At
Yes.
the CK too?
Yes, at the CK.
Okay, that's nice. I am teacher there.
Really?
Yeah, I'm teaching ores preparation. It's in metallurgical engineering.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Ah,
I'm a
that's
teacher
nice.
there. Yeah. Well, turning back to this. Organize my reading time. How I organize it. I have not a certain schedule, but for example, if I want to read a book that I am really interested in, I really like to plan. For example, this book I'm going to read it in 2 weeks, and after that I plan my week to finalize this. But for example, now I am doing my PhD degree, and I think it is mandatory to read a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And all day I am reading articles and some books and everything related with this. But when I am reading just for pleasure, I put some goals to finalize this book or anything in certain period of time, right?
Okay, that's really nice. I always have found difficult to read a lot about the same topic. I think that sometimes I get bored. How do you do to not get bored about the same topic?
Yes, it could be boring, but I'm going to say something. I'm really passionate about my job, about my degrees, about everything, and I really like to understand better the one that I am learning now. For example, I am doing my PhD degree, and I really love to discover something new. I really love to know all of these new things, but I'm going to admit it. It is kind of hard to read a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. So sometimes I am distracting my uh, death times, let's say, um, on the phone and I don't know on Instagram, those kind of things. And after that, I am trying to get some friends and to get off to drink and those kind of things to not have the same routine always. That's the key.
That's really nice.
Okay, next question for you, Rebe.
What about
Uh,
Alex? Alex is also here.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Okay.
Hi, Alex.
Thank you,
Hello.
teacher. Hi, everybody. Hi, Rebecca.
Why you
Hello.
weren't talking?
No, but I
Okay,
was listening carefully.
okay, go ahead.
Excellent.
Tell us.
Well, in my case, I don't set up a schedule to read. I just read whenever I feel like. Fortunately, since I am a reading enthusiastic, I feel like reading every day. That's
Oh.
that's for me. Yes.
Okay, that's nice. Now, yes, next question, sorry. Um, do you set goals for the amount of time you spend reading each day or week? Tell me, Rebe, or Alex, whoever.
I think that I had, well, I tried to read a 1 hour
and stuff, and they say that it's really useful. But I think uh, your technique, your method is really good. But as far as I'm not uh, studying any other thing apart from English, I haven't had the chance to apply some of these techniques or these methods. But I consider it's really really good what you are doing.
Yeah.
Really convenient. Yeah.
What is she doing,
Excellent.
Lou? What is Gabby
Well,
doing?
she has been trying. She has been trying to use many different tools to understand better the reading she's having. Of course, she is uh, having many other kind of reading, and she says that she has had the chance to use ChatGPT, and I was telling her that you are doing that too. This tool is really really good, and you have found it really like pragmatic, right? Or something like that.
It
And
makes my life easier, a lot
yeah,
easier. Yeah, I think I have learned more in these 6 months than in years. You know,
yeah. And
so
I think it's good to have these tools because you can take the advantage on them. I think it's really good, and now you can even save a lot of time in your preparing your papers, right?
mhm. How can I ask you a question, Gabby?
Yes, teacher.
You are there. How do you do it?
How do I use chat?
Uh-huh. How do you use artificial intelligence for your job?
While I was preparing my proposal for my thesis research, I asked ChatGPT a lot of things, especially about some policies that I didn't know if was being or were being implemented here in Mexico. But I was telling Lou that the thing talking about the reading, I was telling Lou that one of my mates told me that when I had troubles understanding of, give me a second, sorry. Somebody is calling me, sorry.
Okay. And what do you think, Lou? Do you
I
think you
haven't
could?
had the chance to use it,
Uh-huh.
teacher, but I need to register on this, right? In order
You
to
need
have
to
the chance
register,
to use
yes.
it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because
Uh-huh.
you need to give an email address.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try it. Why not?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. The thing
Yeah.
is, yes, Gabby is here.
I'm back,
Gabby.
teacher, because I
Uh-huh.
also want to ask you how do you use it? No, but the thing is that one of my mates advised me to ask ChatGPT to rephrase the paragraphs that I don't understand. Because I was telling Lou that for my proposal I have to read a lot of papers, and the very first time that I finished a whole paper, it took me 5 hours to read 20 pages in English because almost in every paragraph there was something that I didn't catch, that I didn't understand. So I have to look
So,
in the
uh-huh.
dictionary and a lot of.
So you are using ChatGPT and for well, in order to take this level of English in a book, to rephrase it for you for your level.
Yeah, that is one way.
I think that is a good idea, a very good idea. But what do you think about using it to write your thesis? I am writing a thesis about it. Can you write it for me? What do you think about?
I I don't know, teacher. Maybe what I did, because my professor of seminar told me to. I was writing. I wrote my proposal in English, but but I had a lot of mistakes, a lot of grammar mistakes. So my seminar professor told me, um, put your proposal in ChatGPT and ask him to correct grammar. Correct grammar. So I did, but the very first well, the first text was written by me, but
The
yes,
original.
I have heard that many people use it to write papers, and I don't know, teacher, maybe it works for them. For example, just yesterday, one of my friends that comercializadora.
What?
Comercializadora.
Like
Sorry.
a business, like a purchase business. It is in the area of retail. A shop.
Retail, yeah. Well, he owns a retail, and
Company.
he told me that all the speeches that they need in order to catch more clients, they use ChatGPT for that. So it works for them.
Yeah, the thing is that it makes it faster. And what I do, for example, I think you ask about it. I don't know. Sometimes when I want to save time, I go to ChatGPT, and if I want to teach something, I ask questions about it. Like the industry. I am opening a course on that, and I decided to take the syllabus from the website that I use to teach this platform. A platform I use Pearson Partners. It is the name. Pearson Partner. And I uploaded the program, and I asked ChatGPT to suggest a list of vocabulary, a list of phrases, and some other questions that I can use, things that I can use during the course. For example, the vocabulary, the order, some questions, so that my students can reflect on this. And for example, these questions about reading are from there. I just try to make it easier to understand for some of them, or adapt it. Okay. So I think it is a nice tool. Nowadays we can do a lot more with it if we use it correctly.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let continue talking for 5 minutes, and then we go back. See you in a bit.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
See you in a bit.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Okay.
Create
Create
a new Sephora for a
okay.
base too.
Okay.
It's only to increasing
To
the
increase what?
amount,
Yes.
the amount for retirement.
Okay.
It's only for that.
And where
But
do
when
you?
the government helps
Uh-huh.
to children
Yes.
to 0 to 18 years.
Yes.
After that, you arrive at the laboral market.
Yes.
If you want, right? But before,
Okay.
this is the government spend money in that question. It's found specific for that reason.
So let me see if I understand you. You're proposing that with the money that they give nowadays to the children for the school with these kind of I think scholarships, what you propose is to like to open a system, something like a kind like a forest for that boys for that children, and for during 18
Until
years.
there, okay, yeah.
And then when they
The
start to
back,
work, they continue, they can,
they continue with the same
they
plan.
can save money in that account or something like that
Yeah.
by themselves. Just to help them at the beginning of their life. I understood. Yes. Instead of giving them the money to buy books or things like that, I think it should be an obligation of the parents or something like that. Yes.
Yes.
Did I understand?
Yes, the last part I didn't understand you. The last part, the obligation one.
Yeah, I think what you're proposing is that the government should give, instead of giving the scholarships that nowadays they give to the children, that money should be saving in an account, in a personal account or something like that, like something like a fore for children. From that age, I don't know, from 6 to 18, or from 0, you say 0 years old or something like that, to 18 years old. The government is who is the, I mean, is going to give the money. And then when the children grow up, they are adults, they can work, they should continue saving money for the retirement in that account. Yes, is what that you are proposing?
Yes, it's the idea. And then in the comparative, the government spend less money in that part of the pie.
Spend less money that
when the people is sold.
Okay.
I'm just listening. I'm just listening here. What are you talking?
Okay, sorry, teacher.
What are
I'm
you?
arriving to my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Because Diane, no, you're welcome. Because yeah,
it's all the topic of the thesis.
Yes, and it's a very interesting one, and she's talking about pensions and the system of pension is in Mexico, and she has a very interesting proposal. I think I don't know if I'm understanding her a lot, but something like that, because I was asking her opinion about some. I think the president proposed to disappear some autonomous bodies of the government, to give that money of the operation of that autonomous bodies to the pensions. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if pensions exist or is pensiones. Wait.
Yeah, it is a retirement fund.
Yeah, pensions. Yeah, to the pensions.
Retirement.
To increase the budget of the pensions, but of course there is a polemic nowadays about about disappearing or not this. Yes, these autonomous bodies, because I mean the UNAM it's an autonomous body. So imagine if they decide to disappear this kind of bodies.
No, I don't think he's going to do it with all of them. No, no, no.
No,
I
it's impossible. I think so.
uh-huh. And some of them, but I think it is true that there is a lot of corruption in these organizations. So at least they should. I don't know if they should cancel them or close them. Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
they should be investigated.
At least, yes, my opinion is the same. It depends of kind of the autonomous body, what is the what they do or what is their function, and and how efficient, yeah,
Efficiency.
efficiency they
Efficient.
have, or they are.
Efficient
I mean,
is the adjective. Efficiency is the noun.
so how efficient are they? If they, yeah, you need to evaluate.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you. And the thing is that it has been proved. Yeah, well, it has been proven. Proven. That these organizations have a lot of not very clear way of
Finance, yeah.
administering their funds. So I think at least they should be analyzed or investigated. There is one writer. I don't know if you have read this writer. He was English. He was from the Victorian period of England, and he was a politician.
Okay.
His name is Edmund Burke. Edmund Burke is one of the authors that a lot of universities ask to write, to read and to write about his work. And Edmund Burke wrote a book about the French Revolution, a treatise of French Revolution. And in that book, he explains, although he was a right hand thinker, like as we say, derechista. He was from that, well, not in that extreme, but he was. And he describes the French Revolution as something that had to happen, but not with that violence. So he says that it is possible, it may have been possible for France to achieve the same or better results by not destroying everything, but taking what the novelty had, some positive things, and then restructure it. So some people don't agree with that. Some people say that you have to destroy everything and put it again. But I think for some of these institutions, they need to disappear. And for some others, they need to find a better way to administer their funds and make it profitable for the country. Profitable.
Yeah, I think no, it's not necessary to destroy everything to start from zero again. I think it's so insane. You have to evaluate or to analyze what is working and is working well, and if it is working well and efficient, you should keep it. Why to destroy it? No, I think in my personal opinion, of course.
It is true that some of these organizations are doing a job that should be done by the government, not by them. A lot of them are like doing unrelated
to
jobs.
check all the responsibilities of
so the government
everybody.
Can absorb this. What do you think, Diana? Before we finish.
Yes. I agree with us. I think
we don't with everyone.
I agree with everyone because I think there are a lot of corruptions and they need to select this organism No, for that reason, I think if they do a selection, maybe they can take better decisions.
I agree with you. A lot of research is necessary. Well, let's go to the main room. Let's continue with everyone there. Tan, tan, tan. See you in a bit.
Okay.
It's the middle of the most important thing. Come on.
Hello, hello. Take it easy, Lou. Take
Okay.
yes, take it easy. Some people were talking even about some other crazy things, but I love these kind of deviations that sometimes we find in conversation, because those options are also very interesting, those deviations in conversation. So let me share the screen with you. So tell me, before we continue, tell me, what was something really curious you discovered about your reading habits and someone else's reading habits? Tell me something.
Yes, I was
Teresita.
talking with Rebe, and she was telling me that sometimes it is difficult to remember a word. For example, you are reading, and then you highlight it or underline it, and you see the meaning of this word, but after a while, you forget it because it is difficult to catch up all the words you are reading all the time, you know? But I was telling her that sometimes it's about the time. You can learn it if you see it more frequently. And yeah, I think that's the thing.
Concentration is key, Teresita. In reading,
Sometimes
yeah,
and
I
repetition.
would say for the certification, concentration is really how do you say this? Crucial. It is a key factor for the exam, because if you are not concentrated, no matter how long, it can be 5 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours. If you are not concentrated, you are not going to learn anything. So that is why we need to learn more about uh, concentration techniques, memory, long-term memory, short-term memory, in order for us to know more about how we can improve concentration. And hand in hand, because they go hand in hand with reading comprehension. But we are going to discover interest. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
What about who says me? Who says me? Something curious, something that you want to say, something that you discover.
I
Yes, sir.
discovered that Diana thesis is very interesting because she's making some interesting proposals from the system of retirement in Mexico. So
Retirement.
yeah.
Yeah, I think all my students have something nice to propose. In this case, Diana's ideas. I would like to know more about it. I think it is going to come with the passing of the lessons. Thank you, Diana.
Yeah, I
Thank
would
you.
like to read
Uh,
her
to
her
read.
her yeah to her thesis. Yeah. So and
Is
if
it
you
a
want,
thesis? Is it a thesis? A complete thesis?
she's working on that. So, but
Oh,
I would like to read her documents.
okay.
But
Because here for the exam, we need to learn how to write a proposal. And it could be a good way to explore this, Diana, for you to start reflecting on your proposal so you can write it.
Yes, thank you, teacher.
Okay, excellent. Well, great. And what about you, Rebe? What did you discover? Rebe.
Hi. Well, while we were talking, I find that we all have like the same ways to get focus and maybe the same reading habits. Like we all said that what is helpful for us is like let the phone apart, or maybe uh, underline and highlight some words and write notes. So I find that we have like the same habits in this reading part. So I think that that's something curious, because not many people well, everyone has like these their own things to learn.
In my, I think it is what you say. Everyone has different routines, not only different habits, but also routines. And part of your routines is, if you have to read, well, you follow the way that you think is better for you. In one of my classes that I am taking, the one who is in charge of the course, he uses how do you say this? It is like an apple. He calls it pomodoro, as you have in the kitchen when you go and you are baking a cake or something like that. You put the timer. It is kind of a timer with the shape of an apple. That is why it is pomodoro, like an apple, and it gives you the time. So I try to do it now, like but not precisely with a clock. I do it with a symphony, you know, more
No.
interesting. One of my favorite composers, Bruckner, Aaron Bruckner. He wrote this fourth symphony. It is one of my favorite symphonies. So I usually listen to it when I am reading from the beginning until the end, and try to concentrate on everything. So sometimes it goes by this kind of music, a symphony from the beginning to until the end. I am going to read something. It helps me. So maybe you can apply this.
But you use it also as a measure of time?
I
Okay.
don't finish reading until the symphony finishes too.
And how long does the song is?
Well, a symphony can be from 20 minutes to 40, or sometimes 1 hour, sometimes
Okay.
in this extreme, let's say. But I would say no more than 50 minutes.
Okay, that's interesting, teacher.
Yeah, the thing is that I try to combine everything that I love: music and reading, and sometimes even colors or some other things that can help me. For example, smells. I try to use some perfumes at home so I can feel better when reading. Ooh. Well, what about you, Ere?
I was telling Diana that it depends the type of text. No, type, yeah, the type of
The type of
text
text.
that I'm reading, because some text that I need to read, it's for work. So sometimes it's some documents for my students. So I do it in a computer, and I do some comments on the document. And others, for example, if it is for a research, I highlight some important phrases or concepts or results, and I also get the reference, or I capture in the reference of that article. And when I read some texts that are not from work or something like that, like novels or tales that I like, I don't have any specific routine. It can be at bed or with a soft light. Yeah, with a soft light, or well during the day in a couch with a very
Drinking
good
some
and
coffee.
natural. Yeah, some coffee or some tea or mate. I like to drink mate, and yeah, it depends of the type of text that I need to read. And when it's for work or for study, I usually play concentrate some. I search for some. A playlist of concentration music, or it depends. There are many options in the Spotify, or that's it. And it's very good for me, and it helps me a lot to focus on the documents.
Okay.
And
it
sometimes
is,
that you use of when I'm very distracted and then I have to read. Maybe sometimes it works that to to use the time 20 minutes concentrated, only 20 minutes,
20
and then
minutes.
and then you start you stop 5 minutes and then again 20 minutes or something like that.
The thing is, the important thing here is to respect this time. That is the difficult thing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you tend to continue or you tend to stop before. But the thing is that no matter what, you should respect the time so you can also get some rest. So,
yes.
Because we say, if I can spend a little bit longer, I can go a little bit longer. Well, at least if you're going to do that, at least adjust your breaks.
Yeah.
At least. Okay. Excellent, Erendira. Thank you. And what about you, Alex? What can you tell us about the people and about you?
Well, regarding what you are talking about taking short breaks, I understand why people find them useful, but they don't work out for me.
Okay, why not?
I just read until I stop reading when I feel I'm no longer paying 100% of my attention. So whenever I feel I'm not paying all my attention, I stop reading and I no longer read until the following day.
Oh, okay. You say too much for me and
Yeah,
you rest.
because at least in the way I see it, there's no point in keep reading if you are not focused on what you're
Understand.
reading.
If you cannot understand, yes. Have you ever, Alex, have you ever read a book from the beginning until the end? In one, like no stop.
In a row, you say?
In a row.
No, not at all. Never.
I think I have done it like 2 or 3 times in my life with some
Because
books.
you have mastered focusing.
The thing is that the book was so good, Alex, that I couldn't stop reading it. Well, these 3 books that I remember. I did it with the story of the Requiem, the Mozart Requiem. Like the story that it is supposed to be the original story, the true story. And the other book was with another book related to that it was also about Mozart. And another one was with how do you say this book? What was the name? Ensayo sobre la ceguera by José Saramago. With these 3 books I did it. And also I think, well, not precisely in one in a row, but I did it in a week with The Perfume by Patrick Suski. So I think it is nice when you can continue, but at least take some breaks, Alex. Relax. Well, and what about you, Lou?
About the impressions that I have with Gabby, or about what?
Well, how do you do it when you are reading? Like, do you take breaks or what?
Well, actually, now that you mentioned that book, I remember that I'm not quite sure if I read it in one
Which
week,
one?
but I read it in a very short time because I was really interested in that reading, and I really enjoyed that book as well. The version I share with you that uh, we have the same taste on that book, and I spent a very short time reading it, and it depends. Maybe as Serendita says, depending on the kind of book you are reading or the purpose of the reading this book, if it's an academic reading or if it's a reading for, I don't know, just for hobby or
For
things like
hobby?
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's different. Your attention, your focus is in a different way.
Unless you are like Teresita. Teresita loves her job, and Teresita is like, for her, reading papers, scientific papers, is like reading the El TV Notas, because she's
Yeah,
the best.
she really enjoys
No
that
way.
reading.
Yes. Okay. Well, Eric, you wanted to say something. I don't know if you still want to say this
No,
before.
no. I just was listen to you. No, it's okay.
Okay. Well, let's continue. Let me share the screen with you. Well, I think this reflection is important. Why? Because reading is going to be every day, an everyday thing for you if you really want to improve your English for C1. So start reflecting on the way that you read, not only the time, but also the way that you do, the purposes, the objectives that you have to set, and the method that you are going to take. Okay, so tips. How do you think we can improve our reading? Some tips that you could give. Okay, Alex, tell
Practicing.
us.
There is nothing
Practice
that
it.
can
Okay.
be improved by practicing.
They say practice makes
But
perfect.
it depends. But what do you mean with improve your reading?
Yeah, what
Reading more
suggestions
pages,
could you give in order to improve your reading in general?
read as much as you can.
Okay, like practice makes perfect. Okay, excellent. What about you, Rebe?
Maybe try to start reading with something that you really enjoy.
That you really enjoy? Yes, excellent. I also give that advice for you. Excellent. Another one. Who says me? Teresita.
To start with small goals. For example, don't be so ambitious and you want to read, for example, a complete saga in a week. It is well, for somebody it could be possible, but I think it is almost impossible. Start with small goals.
Small and smart goals. Yes.
Totally.
In this case, if you, for example, your neighbor is making a lot of noise and it is impossible for you to concentrate, I think it would be better to do something else, and then you will find a better time to read. But at least try to do it, as Alex says, that a lot, a lot of reading. Then more tips. No more tips. Well, the
Underline
first,
the important
yes.
teacher.
Underline, yes.
Uh-huh.
And all of this, as you said, Diana, it is here, this one. Or underline key ideas or important words. Well, can you read the first three tips, Diana?
Yes, teacher. Tips for general reading improvement. Find a quiet and comfortable space to minimize distractions. Minimize.
Quiet space. A quiet space is important because concentration is key. Next one.
Set a purpose for reading.
A purpose for reading. Why am I reading? Just because I want it or because I need to read in order to do something with this knowledge? Why am I reading? To know more about relationships. Okay, that is my purpose, not the reading itself. My purpose is to know more about relationships. That is why you are reading. To find, this is special or this is important because we need to find, how do you say? Yes, a purpose, a reason for reading. Well, then next one, Diana.
Having a clear purpose helps maintain focus.
If you are clear that I need to improve, no, I need to learn more about finances. That is my focus. So you are going to read with that clear purpose. This is really important. Okay, next one. Gabi, next three tips.
Yes, teacher. Break longer reading sessions into shorter, manageable chunks.
Like well, in the case of Alex, well, he says that it doesn't work for him. But if you think like 20 minutes can be a good time for you, then you can go for longer, but I at least start with shorter, as Teresita said, little by little. Okay, next one, Gabi.
Take short breaks between sessions to prevent mental fatigue.
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 Especially when the topic is difficult or boring, or you have to read because you have the obligation. So if it is for passion, maybe your passion can overcome fatigue. But when it is something boring, I think it is better to use this. Well, next one, Gabi.
Use a pointer or guide to maintain focus on the words.
With your finger or with a pen or a pencil, you follow the text. This is useful when, for example, you have to do something else or you get distracted easily. You know where you are reading, and you don't have to come back. Okay. A pointer can be used in the computer too, with your fingers. Well, next one. This is for Rebe. Thank you.
Formulate mental summaries as you progress through the text.
For example, every chapter you write a short summary, like 3-4 sentences that can keep you focused on the text. Next one, Rebe.
Take notes, key points, questions, or reactions while reading.
You are going to underline or to take important words, important ideas, also questions that you think are relevant for your research or what you are doing, the purpose of your reading, and your reactions, not only yours, but from the author. Okay, excellent.
Teacher, sorry, what is chunks? What
chunks are like pieces.
Oh, okay.
Short pieces, chunks. Chokis, no, chunks. Well, in the exam, reading and use of English, we are talking about the exam. At this moment, we are going to concentrate, to focus. We were talking about reading in general, but now we have to be more specific about the exam. So, Alex, can you read this part, please?
Yes. The reading and use of English component is a crucial part of the CAE, Cambridge English Advanced exam, designed to assess your proficiency in reading comprehension and language use. This section evaluates your ability to understand a variety of written text, ranging from articles and reports to fiction and non-fiction extracts, while also testing your knowledge of advanced grammatical structures and vocabulary. Mastering this section requires a combination of strong reading skills, linguistic knowledge, and strategic approach.
Strategic.
Strategic approach. Here is a breakdown of what you can expect and how to excel in the CAE reading and the use of English component.
They are telling you this is more academic because of the kind of text that you have to read, like reports, letters, proposals. So, and also this part evaluates grammar and vocabulary for advanced levels. Well, the first part, multiple choice clause. Part one. Check it. I decided to include one exercise so you can see it. You have multiple choices. As we say in Spanish, Ave María, dame puntería. So you have to choose from 4 options. These options are always the same kind of word. For example, if you need a verb in the space, in the gap, you have 4 verbs. Similar verbs, but only one is the specific, is the correct answer because of grammar, because of meaning, or because of the level of formality. So, can you read the information about multiple choice clause, Lou, please?
Sure, teacher. What's in part 1? A text in which there are some numbered gaps, each of which represents a word or phrase. After the text, there are 4 possible answers for each gap, and you have to choose the correct answer, A, B, C, or D.
Okay.
What do
so
okay.
Yes. So as they say, sorry, I have more. I think more. Yes.
Okay. What do I have to practice? Vocabulary, idioms, collocation, shades of meaning, phrasal verbs, fixing phrases, etc.
Okay. So they are telling you this is a short text. With a number of spaces. In this case, you have 8. 8, not 8. 8 spaces. 8 questions. And you have to decide from 4 options. And they tell you, you need to practice idioms, these funny idiomatic phrases, as we say in Spanish. Do we have idioms in Spanish? What is your favorite?
Yes.
My favorite, Lu. Ve a ver si ya puso la marrana. I love that phrase in Spanish.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not so informal in English because some of them for the exam are not so informal, but they have to do idioms are these kind of idiomatic expressions that are not literal. No, they give an idea of some kind of a metaphor for life. They are idioms. Then collocations are these kind of words that usually go together, like do homework, make a cake, bake some bread. These kind of words that are usually together, usually used together. Shades of meaning are these kind of specific differences in words that makes them really specific for an area or for a certain situation. It is not, yes, Ere.
Yes, I have a question. Are we going to review this or to practice this kind of idioms, collocations, and all this stuff in some
During
point
the
of the
course?
course?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yes, we need to. We need to, because it is essential part of passing the exam.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. We are going to check idioms, collocations. Collocations also, for example, verbs and prepositions too.
Okay,
All of
thank
these,
you.
we are going to check it. Phrasal verbs
Thank
too, like call off, meet up, advanced phrasal verbs too, and fixed phrases that are tested in the exam.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, excellent. Well, so remember, in this case, it can be about the meaning, the specific meaning of the word, the specific collocation of one verb with a preposition, and write it. Prepositions are really relevant in this part because it is something that the test, that you will find in the test a lot. And remember, for part 1, you only have 8 answers, 8 questions. Okay. Questions about part 1? No? Who says me? No questions? Okay, no questions. So let's continue. How many questions are there? 8 questions. Thank you. How many marks are there? 1. Yes. Sorry. 1 question per 1 mark per question. Because there are questions that are worth 2 marks. We are going to check it. Well, the next one. This is for you, Ere. Thank you.
Yeah. Part 2, open close. What is in part 2? A text in which there are some gaps, each of which represents one missing word. You have to find the correct word for each gap. What do I have to practice? Grammar and vocabulary. How many questions are there? 8. How many marks are there? 1 mark for each correct answer.
Okay, so they are telling you, you need to complete the text that has some gaps, some lines. But in this case, you don't have options. They don't give you options. In this case, you need to learn grammar because sometimes it is a preposition that you need, or an auxiliary that you need, or an article, or what else? A conjunction here, or vocabulary because it may be the right preposition. So it refers to grammar or vocabulary. I would say more grammar than vocabulary. Well, vocabulary because it has to do with common phrases, advanced common phrases. And we are also going to check them here. Then you have 8 questions, as you can see. In the previous versions of the exam, they were like 12 or 15, but it was too long. The exam was too long. So they decided to make it smaller or shorter. Well, then questions about part 2? No?
No.
No, okay. Well, this is the one we call open close. And it is open because you don't have questions. You need to write a word. Well, we're going to go into more detail. We are going into more detail during the units of the course. Well, then word formation, Teresita, thank you. And then Gabby.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. For questions. Sorry. You move it.
Yes. This one.
Okay. A text containing 8 gaps. Each gap represents a word. At the end of the line, it's prompt, word which you have to change in some way to complete the sentence correctly. What do do I have to practice vocabulary? How many questions are there? 8. How many marks are there? 1 mark per each correct answer.
Aha. So they are telling you, containing each 8 gaps, 8 spaces here. They give you a word at the end of the line. You need to change this word into a word that fits the meaning of the sentence. For example, what are the abilities that a profession? But profession, no. A professional. You are referring to a person. So you need to change this word into one that fits the meaning of this sentence. So what are the abilities that a professional sports person needs? So they ask you to change the word given, the word here, into one that fits the meaning. We are going to learn word formation, my favorite section ever. I love it. I could spend like 2 or 3 hours just doing this. Well, questions about part 3? No? Ay, teacher.
No, teacher.
Es bien, quién sabe cómo usted. Okay. Well, part 4. Gabby, can you read part 4?
Yes, teacher. What's in part 4? Each question consists of a sentence followed by a keyword and a second sentence with a gap in the middle. You have to use this.
This keyword?
You have to use this keyword to complete the second sentence in 3 to 6 words so that it means the same as the first sentence. What do I have to practice? Grammar, vocabulary, and collocations. How many questions are there? 6. How many marks are there? Up to 2 marks for each correct answer.
So as you can see, they give you 2 sentences. One is complete. The first one is complete. My brother now earns far less than he did when he was younger. And they give you a word, nearly. You need to adapt the meaning of the first sentence and combine it with this word and write a new, complete this sentence using from 5 to, no, use it from 3 to 6 words. For example, here, this one. James would only speak to the head department alone. James insisted on speaking to the head department alone. They give you this example. So here he's using the 3 words, 3 words, and they were given. Insisted on. They are testing collocations collocations with verbs. Insisted on doing something. So we are going to learn grammar structures that are commonly used in this section. And a lot of exercises, believe me, a lot. You will hate it. I think for most of the people, this is the most difficult part. So don't get afraid, but some of you are familiarized with this kind of exercises, so don't worry. And remember, it is 2 marks each. Each question is 2 marks. This is one of the ones. Okay? Problems? Who says me, teacher, I love you? Because I cannot see faces. No? No problems.
I can say, help me, please.
The answer, teacher.
Yes. The answer for which one?
It would be
No,
my
for
brother
everyone.
doesn't even earn nearly as much now as he did when he was younger.
I would say earns nearly as much.
But doesn't.
Now,
My brother doesn't
doesn't earn
earn
or
as
doesn't
nearly as
make,
much.
doesn't make also. Talking about making money.
Okay.
Doesn't make nearly as, does not. So there are two words. Does not. Let me write it. I think it is better. Does not make. In the exam, you have to write with capital letters. Sorry. Nearly as. So we are using 5 words. And we are, another thing, you have to respect the meaning of the first sentence. Because if you change the meaning of the first sentence, grammar may be correct, but they are not giving you any marks. Sorry. And for example, how do they mark it? They usually divide it into two pieces. If you have the first part, as they say, you get 1 mark. But if you have the other part also correct, you receive the 2 marks. But if the complete meaning is not the same as the first one, you are not given any. Sorry. Maybe only 1, depending on the structure that you are using. We are going to check a lot of examples, lots of grammar. Sorry, I know it is like, grammar? Yes. Remember that this year certification is about grammar too. Okay? Well, next one. This is a part 5. In this case, they are longer texts. For this, you should take at least 15 minutes per reading. Well, part 5, multiple choice. Luke, please.
Sure, teacher. What's in part 5? A text with some multiple choice question. For each question, there are 4 options, and you have to choose A, B, C, or D. What do I have to practice? Reading for detail, opinion, tone, purpose, main idea, implication, attitude. How many questions are there? 6. How many marks are there? 2 marks for each correct answer.
So in this case, you have 6 questions. Each question is worth 2 marks. In this part of the exam, it is important not to leave any blanks. If you know the answer, as we say in Spanish, Ave Maria. Why? Because if you don't write anything, at least you have 2 marks less. So if you say, well, I don't know the answer, but I think it may be letter A, well, you may get 2 marks. But if you don't write anything, you don't get 2 marks. And that could be a problem because at the end, they are 12 marks. This section is 12 marks, and you will be losing too much. If you don't write anything, you will be losing 12 marks. So for this, they say, you have to concentrate on detail, yes, general things, but also in detail. The questions are about the main idea, the purpose of the writer, the purpose of one word, what is the meaning of a specific phrase. And the attitude, was he angry, according to what the person in the text says. Well, questions, problems? Happy, always happy. No? Okay. This one, it says part 6, cross-text multiple matching. This is a little bit complicated, and we are going to check why. Okay, this is for Gabby. Thank you, Gabby. And
Yes,
then Rebe.
what's in part 6? For short text with multiple matching questions, you must read across all of the text to match a prompt to elements in the text. What do I have to practice? Understanding and comparing opinions and attitudes across the text. How many questions are there? 4. How many marks are there? 2 marks for each correct answer.
Also here, as you can see, every question is worth, or every question, every item is worth 2 marks. So if you don't answer again one of these marks, you are missing 2. One of these questions, you are missing 2 marks. And then it says multiple matching questions. Yes, because they refer to opinions or differences in opinions. It says, which reviewer has a different opinion from the others? That is why this text is always about opinions of people being interviewed or opinions of writers. In their books or in their articles. So you are asked to read 4 extracts from some articles in which they are talking about the same topics. But they ask you to compare their opinions. This is really, well, quite complicated because you need to focus on the opinions that every author has about specific things. And try not to confuse these things because in one question, they may be referring to an opinion about something in particular, and in another question, they may be referring to an opinion about something else. That is why you should concentrate on how to read the questions, how to underline the important words in each question, so that you can be sure of what they are asking. Don't worry. We got you covered. You're covered. We are going to check this too. Well, questions, problems? No? You never have questions. Well, next one. Ere, can you, no, sorry. Rebe, can you read this one? Well, first Ere and then Tere. And then Tere.
Okay, part 7. Gapped text. What is in part 7? A single page of text with some numbered gaps which represent missing paragraph. After the text, there are some paragraphs which are not in the right order. You have to read the text and the paragraph and decide which paragraph best fits each gap. What do I have to practice? How to understand the structures and development of a text. How many questions are there? 6. How many marks are there? 2 marks for each correct answer.
Well, as you can see, this text, all of these part 5, 6, 7, and 8, they have a different structure. And sometimes we should approach them in a different way, with a different methodology. So in this text, people choose to read all of the text first, and then the extracts that you need to insert. But some people find more useful to make, how do you say this, summaries. So we are going to learn some reading techniques for each specific text in reading and use of English. So don't worry. So they are telling you 7 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 6, 6 spaces, not 7. So in these 6 spaces, you have to insert this. Maybe this here, maybe this here. And that is why we need to learn how to do it. Again, it is worth 2 marks. Okay? Problems? You say, teacher, that is impossible. This is really difficult. I love it. I love challenges. Okay. Next one. This is the last part, Teresita. Thank you. Sorry. Let me just erase this. Ajá. Ay, no sirve esto. Ajá. Okay. Please, Teresita.
Yes, which part?
Multiple choice reading, part 8. But this is, I think I read the information, I wrote the information. For this one, it is not the one. Yeah, well, for part 8, sorry, this is not the right information. For part 8, you are given 10 questions. And also you are given 4 or 5 extras. A, B, C, D, E. They are always about the same topic. Again, about the same topic, but in this case, there are lots of differences that we need to find in the different text, but for different specific questions. 10 different questions. And we are going to learn, for me, for example, here it is more useful or more, it is easier for me and more effective to read the questions first, underline important words, and then I go to the different text and I find the information. But we are going to check different techniques that you can use. Because sometimes for people, it could be different. Okay? Well, problems, questions about these sections?
No, no by now.
No. You think, wow. The time, what is the time for this section? Do you remember? For reading and use of English?
1 hour and 30?
1 hour and 30 minutes. How many sections do we have?
8.
8 sections. What is reading and use of English about? What are the most important things that you should study? Look.
Vocabulary, prepositions.
Vocabulary, prepositions, collocations, what else?
Idioms.
Idioms. Idioms. Phrasal verbs.
Shades of meaning.
Shades of meaning. This kind of a specific meaning for some areas. Well, and we are going to check more about it next class. Yes, Ere.
Sorry?
Yes. Questions, problems, no?
No, any.
Okay. Yes, Alex. Tell me.
What is the name of the first part of reading?
Reading and use of English?
What is the name of the first part?
The first part of the exam? Part 1, multiple choice. This one. I am going back. 20 seconds. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A summary. Let's do a summary.
Okay.
Part 1, multiple choice clause. 8 questions. Short text. Then we have part 2, short text 2, but no options. Just grammar words. You need grammar words here. According to the phrases that they ask. Then also 8 questions. Then word formation. 8 questions. Short text. You have to change the word that they give you into the one that you need to fit the meaning of the line. Then part 4, keyword transformation. You need to rewrite the sentence with these rules that we were checking. Then part 5. But this is a long text. with 6 questions with 4 options. They are usually in order, so you just need to find the right information in the right order. That is something nice, at least. Then another question, well, part 6, a long text with 4 questions and 2 marks per question, but it is about opinions of writers. And then gap text, in which you have to insert some paragraphs into the right part of the text. So you have 6 questions, 2 marks per question. And part 8, in which you have 10 questions and 5 short text, in which you need to go and find very specific information. Okay? And I know it is like too much. And all of this in just 1 hour and 30 minutes? Yes. That is why we need to get ready. Okay? Let's try to be positive. Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it. It's like, that is too much. And Lou knows more about it. And she knows that it is not so easy to go for 1 hour and 30 minutes just like this. What do you think, Lou? What suggestion can you give us?
Keep calm, because sometimes you can, yes, and enjoy the class, focus, and no distractions at all, because sometimes a word is missing you. Gosh. Yes.
Yes. And just to finish, I am going to give you some general tips. No, some tips for the exam. Write it, right. The first one, skim and scan. Skim, you go quickly through the complete text to get the sense of general content. If it is about biology, about history, if it is positive or negative, just general ideas. And then you scan, you go for more specific information. And you go like question by question. That is the difference. You should always do skim before you scan. Skim before you scan. Always. In the exam, you're skimming time for long text should not be more than 2 minutes. No more than 2 minutes for the complete text. Maybe 3, but don't spend more time on it. And the rest of the time, go for specific information. Practice time management. Yes. Try to give the right time for each passage. Don't give too much time for short text for the first part. Only 7 minutes for the first 4 parts and 15 minutes for the other parts. Then, don't spend too much time on a single question. Move if you're not sure. Guess, write something and move. Identify main ideas. What are the main ideas on a paragraph? Write some summaries. It says focus on understanding the main ideas of each paragraph and pay attention to the author's argument and perspective, their opinion. Pay attention to this because this is one of the most important parts in this, opinions. Okay, then try to understand the question types. If it is multiple choice, matching, true, false, we are going to, or if you have to insert something, familiarize yourself with this by doing exercises, of course. Understand the specific skills that the question type assesses. What is the question saying or asking? About the humor, about the intention, about the structure. Achievement, active engagement. You have to be there. It says engage with the text actively by making predictions and forming opinions. Try to predict what is happening. And think critically about the author's perspective and purpose. this is more like extra, some extra energy there that you have to take. And time management, again, practice managing, yes. Yeah, well, it refers to the general text. When you are about to take the exam, you need to take your time, and you need to take complete test and practice with them with the right timing before the exam. That is why you have to plan it maybe in a year. Put this in your mind. In a year, we will be doing this. I know it is a year, teacher, yes. To set realistic goals. Vocabulary strategies, pay attention to context clues to deduce the meaning of unfamiliar words. Yes, when there is a word that you don't know, don't stay like that. You can try by reading a little bit before, or the complete sentence, or even the complete paragraph, to understand that word, to form a more exact meaning in your head of what the word really means. And develop a strong vocabulary foundation to enhance overall comprehension. Yes, that you need to set your methodology for how you deal with vocabulary. If you don't have a vocabulary notebook, this is your homework today. That would be your only homework for the complete weekend, girls and boys. Okay. What is your homework?
To do a vocabulary.
To find a vocabulary notebook. Okay, and I am going to propose a plan for you on how to deal with your vocabulary, but I don't want you. I don't want to impose. So some of ideas that I would have is that for the class, when you are in the class, you have this vocabulary notebook or a grammar and vocabulary notebook, if you wish. Half of it for grammar, half of it for vocabulary, or two notebooks. Also. Why is it important? Because if you need to check this or to take notes, for me, it helps me. Taking notes helps me to concentrate. So maybe it is the same for you. Okay?
Teacher?
Yes, Gabby.
Aren't you going to share the presentations in Google Classroom as usual?
Yes. I am going to make the group for next week.
Okay.
So that
Okay,
more
teacher.
people join us before some people join us. Okay? So see you next Monday.
Thank
Okay?
you.
See you next
Have a nice
Monday.
weekend.
Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Enjoy your weekend. See you.
Bye,
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye, Diane.
Bye.
Bye. See you there. Bye,
See you.
Teresita.
Bye.
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 Bye, Ale. See you.